introduce you to Leif Harboe, whose presentation you have in your programmes, ICT and Languages, a Vision for the 21st Century. Leif is a teacher of Norwegian and German in upper secondary school. He specialised in the use of information technologies in the classroom. He's worked as an ICT coordinator and has also developed web-based teacher training programmes. His book, ICT in the Humanities, was published in 1999, and he's also written several articles on the subject. So I shall pass over to Leif for his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being given the privilege and the honor of being here with you. I, as was told, come from Norway, this small country of about 4 million people. This rich country of oil and fish, so rich that we could afford not to be a member of the European community. We do without. For the time being, I work as a head teacher in one upper secondary schools, but I also work as an ICT coordinator in the county of Rogaland. Norway is divided into 20 counties. I've been a language teacher myself for 14 years time, teaching the difficult but beautiful language of Goethe and Beethoven. But for the last 3 years, I've been just coordinating training teachers. But I was very afraid of being sitting behind a desk and teaching teachers without practicing myself. So the last year I asked for a class because I wanted to test out all my series on a real class. And I will tell you about some of the results, some of the experiences when you implement lots of ICT, lots of computers in the classroom. I started using computers about 10 years ago. I started as a language teacher using email in different projects with my German class. This was when the wall came tumbling down, and one of the projects was to interview Germans, how they felt about the changes in Eastern Germany. So we didn't have much equipment, so the students, they wrote their letters, their interviews, gave it to me on paper. I ran home, I typed it onto my computer at home, emailed it to a German teacher, and he himself had to repeat the procedure. That was, of course, something for an idealistic teacher, neglecting his family, neglecting his wife, doing all such kind of projects. But I was very curious. How can I, as a teacher, communicate? How can my students communicate as a part of a language project? It was hard work, lots of typing, but it was expensive. The telephone bills were terrible, but well, I was so curious that I didn't care. Here on the screen you see some quotes from old time about introducing new technology into the classroom. It seems that people also in the past have been skeptical about the changes this technology brings. The pictures you see is from my school. It's from the 60s, beginning of the 60s. What will the students do when the slate is dropped and it breaks? They will be unable to write. Oh, what if the technology breaks down? And then we move some hundred years on. And then it was, okay, we have the pencil, and then we have pen and ink. New technologies coming on. But as the skeptics said, pen and ink will never replace the pencil, of course. Then the ballpoint pen came on, threatening the education. And I think it's funny to see the American values of thrift and frugality are being discarded. This was luxury, too expensive, pens you throw away when the ink has run out. That was 1950. Has technology changed school? In what way? Has the VCR, has the tape recorder, has the telephone actually changed the way we teach? Has the computers started changing the way students learn? I heard that Spanish schools, to a certain extent, are not very well equipped with computers. But if you look 10 years' time, will these machines change the way we will teach and the way the students will learn? What's for sure is that the PC, the computer, the microprocessor, has changed the lives, the professions outside schools. I use the expression schools and teachers with a digital interface. Our students, they already have a digital interface. They use a cellular phone. They know how to handle the remote control with hundreds of buttons. They know how to program the VCR. I don't know how. I asked my son to do it. To use this technology is for them something natural. They're born with it. So my computer teachers in our schools, they fear for the future, because why train students who come, they are 16 years when they come to our upper secondary school, they know how to handle this equipment, most of them. They fear for the jobs, what shall they do? The students, they don't find it strange to chat with people all around the globe in a dialect of English. In Norway, we were very afraid about girls and computers. We had all kinds of programs to stimulate girls to use computers. We had girls-only classes for computers, for example. But it seems that this chatting, this, I don't know if you know this chat program called Mirk. Mirk has done more to promote the use of computers than all our stimulation and all our programs. It's a discussion among teachers. Shall you allow them to chat? I don't know if you have discussed it, because every time I'm in the computer lab with the students and I turned back to them, they started to chat. For one thing, and it's a good thing, these programs, these chat programs, have taken the mystery away from the computers. The girls, they are no longer afraid of this technology, because they want to chat, they want to communicate. So the task, the challenge for the teacher is, how can I, as a teacher, use chat as a means, as a tool to accomplish some pedagogical goals as part of a project? Then chat could be a very good thing. Here you see a modern school It's in Sweden. I visited last year the mobile gymnasium. And in Sweden, private schools, they spring, they appear like mushrooms in rain. It's very easy to start a private school due to public funding, and this school, it's a chain. Lots of schools with the same ID have appeared the last year. And the special thing about this school is that the student, the first day, they get a laptop. And then the other remarkable thing is that they don't go to school every day. 1 week, 2 days, the other week, 3 days. And they connect through the internet. Their mentors, their tutors, they are around in Sweden. So much of the learning actually should take place at home. I suspect one of the reasons for them to use this is to save money, because you can double the number of students by saying, hey, you can't go to school today, you have to learn at home. And I'm not very happy about such schools. I don't think this is the future we want. For young people, school is a place to meet. It's a social arena to be together with other young people and also to be together with grown-ups, with teachers. Making such a school, you kind of take the arena from them, or half the arena, because they shall stay at home looking into the screen. So I think they need contact. We can't be replaced by machines. And I think this is development. I'm afraid we can see more in order to save money. Yes. I will say about things we have done in our county, that is, as I said, in the 32 upper secondary schools. But first, what is the teacher of the future? What is this teacher with a digital interface? Is it a computer nerd? Do we want just computer nerds from now on? Are we other? Are we useless? Can't they use us anymore? When I do teacher training, I start with, I try to encourage them. I try to say, what you know, what your experience, your skills, your knowledge of your subject is the most important thing. To be a German teacher in the information society, you still have to know how to conjugate a verb. You still have to know the cultural heritage of German. You still have to know about dative and accusative. You can't just replace this knowledge with web lessons. You still have to be able to communicate. You still have to be able to encourage students, all those human skills. But this is the start, this is the bottom. That is where we start. The next I say, if you put lots of computers into your school, you should maybe change, organize the teaching, the way you have your classes. You must be open to new ways of teaching. You can't go on to teach in the same way. You may have to change a little bit in this area. And the third thing, to be an ICT literate. When I look at my colleagues, most of them use text a text processor. I think half of them use email, and a handful, just a few, publish their stuff on the web. But I think to be able to use a text processor and to be able to use email, that's a very good starting point. I think then you're ICT literate, and you must discover how you can take advantage of this in your teaching. I also use project tools when I communicate with my students. 2 hours ago, I went into a net cafe in Bilbao and had to reply because the students, they were frustrated with me being here. They had some questions about the test next week. What shall they do? It was too difficult. They had too little time. And I have had great advantage of using certain project tools. The one I use is called Yahoo Tools. It's free. But what is very interesting, even if your school doesn't have lots of computers, is to see the web as a kind of extended blackboard. When you ask your students how many has access to internet at home, I'm not sure what the answer you will get will be. But the moment many or most have internet access at home or somewhere else, it doesn't have to be in school. It's very interesting to discover the potential of publish a web page. And if you are able to use a text processor and you push the button of print, you know, to publish a web page is almost that simple. It's very easy today. So you must discover that. Blackboard, the extended web, the extended blackboard. So, what about the schools with a digital interface? What is enough? What is enough PCs? In our county, we have the ambitious goal. We want a computer for every 3 students. That is our goal. So 30% of the time, the student should have access to his or her own computer. Secondly, if you want to use computers, if you go into a computer lab with a class, it's chaos. And you won't support people standing outside the door so you can drag them in the minute you need them. If you have planned the lesson and everything is set up, you should do this and this and this, and the server crashes, you want somebody to help you fast. You don't want to use tools. Many teachers I speak with, they have tried, but then they have so many technical problems. They won't try again. So you need these support people. I'm a teacher. I'm a language teacher. I don't want to be a technician. That is not what I'm trained for. And I guess most of you agree. Then you need relevant software. And to me, the text processor is the most interesting pedagogical software I know of. I'm not a great fan of kill and drill programs. Some of them are good, but the potential I find in the web browser and in the text processor and in the email program. That is my main focus when I teach about pedagogical programs. In Norway, the government has said, firstly, of course, every school shall connect to the internet. But that could be one computer, one modem, and the school can say, yes, we are connected to the internet. Now the government say, every school should be connected to the internet with broadband. That means faster connections, of course. Broadband means you can watch multimedia content on the net. Video, music, sound. The PC has already turned into an entertainment machine for many students. When the students log in, I see some of them, they always turn into the page of Manchester United. Whatever they shall work on, they have their, favorite pages. Of course, I hope they will study the sound, the sights of different cultures and languages. Of course, the page of Manchester United is in English. That's a good thing. Then you need teachers who have not been scared off, who are still curious about how this can be a resource for them as teachers. When I speak about this content, usually more than half of the participants are women. And I think this is very great. I believe this is because language teachers, they are traditionally mostly women, but also that they see this potential of communication. They see they can do interesting things together with the students. A little bit about money. Machines in school costs a lot of money. For the price of 2 computers, you could buy a piano. You could buy lots of books. For the price of 10 computers, you could buy dictionaries, you could go on an excursion. Why should we use all this money on computers? Because this technology just costs a lot of money. And in Norway, the experience with politicians, they are very ready to give money for the buy of computers. But what they don't know is that to buy a computer is just the start. You have to train teachers, that costs money. They have to be aware, you have to have replacement teachers. You have this support guy who you need. You have to fix the machines that breaks down. You have constantly to update the machines. So to buy a computer, that's the start, that's 20%. If you look at the lifespan of a computer, 20% is just buying the computer. All the other costs is about these things I mentioned. So I understand teachers who are skeptical about starting this thing in their schools. I understand them. If that will take the money away from the pianos, from the trips, all the other nice things we need money for in Norwegian schools and I guess also in Spanish schools. I love showing this video clip. I hope it works. It takes. This is a teacher preparing his lesson. had a bad day. For many teachers, technology is a threat. They are scared. They would like the schools without this information technology. I don't think all teachers should be a computer wizard. We need teachers who play the piano, who are great at dance and drama, who know to crack a joke, who know to encourage. If I would recruit people for my school, I would like many different kinds of teachers. So the illustration here is to show that what happens in your classroom shouldn't be just your responsibility. In Norway, in upper secondary schools, we are not used to working in teams. Everyone works on its own, prepares his own lesson, is alone in the classroom. We start now to work more in teams. And if I'm good at computers, I should help the other teachers in the team who are not so good at computers. Right? I rely heavily on students when I'm with my class in the computer lab. I couldn't use computers without having a system where I used the students as my assistants. I will tell you a little about the project this year, but anyway, the class was divided into groups. I had groups of girls because I wanted the girls to kind of develop their own skills using computers. And as you see, I try to illustrate each group should have a resource person who is responsible to make things work. So have a system with computer assistants. You could have a system to train them, to prepare them, but to be in a computer lab and helping 28 students, it's impossible. So we use the students as our assistants. I say, in 2 weeks' time, I will use this program. Could you prepare this? Could you have a look into this program to see how it is? So they will be prepared to help their classmates. My students, they want to learn how to make web pages. But I can't help 28 students. So I tell my students, my assistants, you have to prepare yourself for this lesson about how to make web pages. The students, they learn from each other. We call it peer learning. They don't learn from big manuals. They don't go to courses. They learn from each other. So you should use this resource. They learn from each other. As I told you, you have this problem perhaps with little computers. Well, you can use much computers without having it to take place in your school. As you see here, the students, they can work at home. They can work in the library if you have computers there. You can arrange for them being together in groups, sitting with friends, or the computer lab. It should be opened after the school is over. Why should we close it down, close the school, close the computer lab? The students should be able to use this. We can't expect every student to have this at home. So my question is, do your students have access to the computer lab if you have one after the school hours? Do they? No? We have started. The average teacher in Norway, and perhaps to some extent in Spain as well, use text processor, make plans. The text processor is more than writing a text. So let's have a quick look at Word, the most popular text processor. When the students use Word, they put pictures into it. It's easy to put video clips. You could put sound, music, MP3 files in it. My students, they had a project on the advertising, different kind of advertising. Then it was very convenient to put video clips of advertising in their text processor.
Bra legelim gjør leppene myke og glansfulle, i nyanser fra duse til forførende. Moisture med opp til 66% fuktigende og gleitingredienser. Med vitaminer og aloe vera, som gjør leppene myke og fuktige, i alle de fargene du drømmer om.
The students there are used to multimedia content, and of course I encourage it. If it's possible, why not? Why not put music into the documents? Why not put Churchill, his speeches, into their text processor document, as I've done here? I won't use time now to, but it's very easy to do it, and the students they enjoy this possibility. Not just writing dull words. Oops. If you have a computer lab, perhaps you say to the students, go and have a look for, see what you can find on the internet. For example, if you have a project on mad cow disease, you tell the students, go into the computer lab, surf the web, and what they certainly will find, they will find all kinds of strange and obscure web pages with, well, I'm not sure if I rely on it, what they find. So what I do, I ask our school library, I say, we will work on mad cow disease. Could you help us find some links in order to save the students? When using text processor, many teachers, they were afraid of the text speller, you know, that the program could check for spelling mistakes. And they were afraid, okay, shall they not learn how to spell anymore? But I encouraged them and said that the Norwegian spell checker is so silly. So the students, they must learn, don't rely on it. Don't trust it. So it's not a problem. We also have opened for students to take their exams. When they are graduating, they are 18, 19 years old, they always have to write an essay. And the government says, if the school has computers, why not? If they're used to work with computers, why not write their essays on the exam? But that is rare. But the government has opened up. And I think we'll see, of course, more and more of that. I won't say much about these programs. I enjoyed very much the presentations earlier today about the the focus on content, learning through content. These programs, which you see one of the examples, as you see, interactive dialogues, grammar, conjugation, lesson report, personalized learning path. It looks very, very promising, I must say. But for me, as a language teacher, and I've always also I've watched language teachers using internet and ICT. This is not the big. I don't find the biggest potential in such programs. I'm more interested in the C in ICT, in communication. So I have to. I don't believe in learning machines. I don't think you can sit in front of a screen with a very fancy program and learn the language. I think you need motivated students, inspired teachers. I think you need authentic learning situations where they need the knowledge, they need a vocabulary. As I told you, I've been German for many years. It's very hard work because it's more or less like teaching Latin or Greek because the students, they don't see, why shall I learn it? I speak English. I've been to Germany. Everyone there spoke English. Why shall I learn German? So I must say that with or without these programs, I think it's a very great challenge to teach such languages. But I try to use the internet. I try to build projects where they really need to communicate in German, and I will tell you about this a little bit later. Okay, this is the teacher in control. Okay. Okay. To tell you a little bit about what we have done in our upper secondary school the last 10 years. The first we started to build libraries within schools. We equipped the schools with full-time trained librarians. And I think this was a very good start. I think that this was the right start. We needed it. We also built many computer labs in order for the students to learn how to use a computer. But it's a tendency, it's a trend now to build study centers. Often they are placed next to the library where the students use ICT as a tool. You don't get the lessons in the study lab. You work more or less on your own. Not every upper secondary school in our county has these study labs, but we see more and more of them, and we encourage them. We stimulate with money for the schools who build these study centers. I will also say a little about architectures. The school for the future, what should it look like? When you build a new school, what kind of rooms do you need? Do you need just A4, square classrooms? When we build schools now, we build lots of study rooms, study cells, and these study centers. But the school of the future, what do we need? When you build a new school in Spain, is it very much the same? Does it look the same as the school you know? In order for the student to survive to go to university, to survive in the information age. We say we have to train them, we have to support them, we have to give them different skills. And one skill you perhaps don't find here is the use of ICT, because perhaps it's evident. Of course you need ICT, but you also need self-discipline. You need to know languages, you need how to cooperate. So when you teach, is your teaching promoting these skills? I think this is an interesting question we should ask ourselves. Does our school system encourage cooperation? I will, for example, when the students have exams, we have more and more exams with cooperations. They have the possibility to discuss the task. They get the text about the exam, then they have 1-2 hours to discuss, to cooperate. And from then on they continue on their own. But we try to also promote cooperation skills in the exam. As I mentioned, you will hear certainly more about content-based language teaching. And the interesting thing, especially when teaching English, is that we use more and more the English language as a tool. We don't tell the student, now you shall learn English. English is the tool. We don't reflect on it, it's just a tool. And if they have a project, for example, on biology, of course they use English. Of course they have to look in the dictionary. Of course they have to ask the teachers, what does this mean? I don't understand it. But we focus it not as the goal in itself.